What's a trade secret you know from working the industry? If you call a call center of any kind, and the person you're talking to puts you on hold with no hold music, they can hear everything you're saying. I worked in an insurance call center when I was really young. I had so many people accidentally confess to insurance fraud that way. When you shop at Walmart, do you sometimes hear the announcement saying security cameras to zone 6, or another number? They play them randomly in the hopes that someone who might be stealing will get paranoid thinking they're being watched, and will decide not to shoplift. Vinegar is the best thing to get your cutlery shiny in a restaurant or bar. Arcade crane games have knobs inside that let you control how strong the claw grabs. So you basically make the claw really weak strength, and then there's a setting in the motherboard to make the claw go full power after a certain amount of plays. Whatever the arcade or owner decides how often they want people to actually win. As a freelance photographer, most magazines and newspapers don't pay you for using your photos. They offer you photo credit only. If you ask to be paid, they just get a similar photo from someone else. A certain 48 inches interstate natural gas pipeline valve is being kept open by a strategically placed piece of 2x4 lumber. If the valve was closed, millions of people would be without nat gas fairly quickly. If you are involuntarily kicked off a flight because of oversales, you can demand cash instead of a voucher. Scroll down to involuntary. Things may have changed in the past few years, but generally speaking, plastic is hardly ever recycled anymore. It used to be shipped to China for processing, but even they had a hard time with the amount of pollution and toxic waste produced by recycling it. Now it will get shipped to other countries in Asia, where more often than not it just gets dumped into the Pacific Ocean. A lot of municipalities just add it to a landfill. On the other end of the spectrum, aluminum recycling is amazing. If you ship through FedEx Express, if you're sending many packages, envelopes to a single stop, ship one priority overnight and the rest standard. They'll be delivered together with the priority package. I doubt this will be too interesting to most, but if you buy 100 tons of straight rebar, you're actually only getting like 95 tons of steel. ASTM allows the rebar to be up to 6% lighter than the nominal weight per foot, and so it saves on raw material if you aim to run 4 to 5% light. However, rebar is tested based on the nominal weight per foot, so two pieces of rebar with the same strength will be able to hold the same amount of force even if one is thinner than the other. Having a crew that can pass a drug test is not the same as having a drug-free crew. If a medical professional ever suggests you get a second opinion, e.g. a nurse at the doctor's office, it can be code for they are concerned about the quality of the medical care you are currently receiving, and that you really should get that second opinion. On any piece of machinery, if the welds you see look like shit, the welds you don't see are even worse. In the United States, movie theaters spend more money on the bags for popcorn than the popcorn itself. As an HVAC mechanical engineer, if you tell us you don't care about a brand, it'll open up an entire industry of options. Almost all packaged equipment has the same efficiency and warranty, but some brands just cost way more than others because of whatever internal proprietary controls they have or inflated egos or whatnot. I can design you a system for 30 to 50% less sometimes if you give me the flexibility to do so. I can also show you a comparison to prove to you that two systems of different costs will operate equally. An amp, NBSP, I should add that a good, ethical engineer, engineering sales, should also keep in mind maintenance, dimensions, fitment, and overall longevity of the unit. And they should have in-depth discussions with their customers. Lowest equipment cost does not always equal longest lifespan. I'm just talking about operational comparisons. Worked in high-end golf clubs for years. Almost all politicians register their handicap scores under a false name. The USGA handicap records are technically public information, and people would be pretty pissed if they knew how much time these guys actually spend playing golf. That the reason why celebrities always look good in whatever they wear is that the clothing is tailored to their exact measurements. Shoppers will buy the size closest to, take it to someone to alter, and then deliver it. Yes, even the t-shirts. Attorneys can really only remember the details of about 20 to 40 cases at a time, so if you call your attorney after about a month or two, depending on the firm and how busy they are, they likely completely forgot what happened to you, and are working off a set of notes to pretend they have any clue who you are. Especially if you've really only interacted with them via phone other than one time in person for an intake or whatever. All emergency rooms are not equal emergency rooms. In my hospital, we don't have any sort of OB, pediatrics or any of that. Whenever a kid comes in, or worse a baby, the nurses and doctors are all in a panic. Not because they're incompetent but because that's not what our hospital does regularly. Sure, we will stabilize to the best of our ability and we will immediately call the local children's hospital, but if you have a child for example in distress, and you have multiple hospitals nearby, try being aware beforehand which one is the best for yours or your child's needs. You don't want to rush into an ER where there isn't someone who can confidently and effectively treat you. Calls are not being answered in the order received. We actually did find and file that bug in your favorite video game, our leadership just decided it was okay to ship with it. When you play match 3 games, like Candy Crush Saga, after beating a few levels the game will make it impossible for you to continue, you will be getting impossible odds. If you put your device aside and return after several hours or a day later, you will find the previously impossible level to be easy AF. It is a mechanism to prevent people from burning through hundreds of levels in one go. Movie industry. Unless you are absolutely breathtaking in your audition, which does happen, don't get me wrong, there is a list of 30 people each studio prioritizes to be in their major films. For every publicly announced data breach, whether that be a confirmed leak, or the identification of a security flaw, there are 50 other such incidents that companies swept under the rug. Data security is complicated, and most organizations don't have the proper expertise to secure their data. Awards tend to be bullshit. Awards companies are there to sell advertising. They make up awards, offer winning titles to businesses, then charge them to include their name in their literature. For example, the business my husband and I own recently won a national award. We were even asked what award we'd like to win. What's the title of the award you feel you'd be best suited to? We could have made anything up and we'd have been given it. Best XYZ in the known universe. To receive a certificate, we need to pay them £70. For a trophy, it's £225. To have a quarter-page spread in their magazine, it's £650. For a featured article, we have to pay them £2,000. It's a load of bullshit. Nobody ever remembers who gave the award, and frankly we aren't daft enough to pay for a featured article nobody will ever read, so we just use the term award-winning in our own advertising now. Edited to add, thank you for the awards. Work for an optometrist. If you find a pair of glasses in a clinic that you like, they are likely marked up X 2.5 to 3. There should be a number on the inside arm of the frame. It should be like, AK 2073 inches or something like that. Look that up online and buy it straight from the manufacturer. Probably will be less than $100. Don't pay full price for glasses. Edit. Marked up times 2.5 or 3. Not percent. Most electronic medical records allow providers to put pop-up warnings in your chart if you act verbally or physically aggressive. If you yelled at the nurse in 2017, the medical assistant you called today begging for a last-minute appointment can see it. Casinos don't need to cheat. We have already rigged the game against you. Tourism industry here. Look up when peak season is for the destination you're looking at. There are usually cheaper prices are the beginning and end of the season. Try to book at the beginning of the season. Seasonal workers work themselves ragged and are usually completely burnt out at the end. At the beginning of the season, everyone is stoked to start making money again.